Hello, folks. Okay, so I have been asked by several people, hey, how to make stencils. And I don't have time to reply to a lot of different emails from people. So I have decided, hello everybody, to make a series of periscopes that if you have a silhouette and you want to make stencils that you can use to create your own. If you have I will not save this scope, and the reason I don't save it is because I found that when I save a scope, I have a inbox full of questions from people, and although I love like helping people, I just don't have a whole lot of time to always answer questions, and I don't want to seem like rude for never getting to it. I am on Catch Me, but what I am going to do is put it on my YouTube page. So this one won't be saved for replay, but I will put it on my YouTube page so that anyone who wants to look at it can do it on my YouTube page and ask the question on my YouTube page, and I can respond then when I get the time to all of those questions versus having a lot of questions on my personal email. Okay. So for those of you who have a silhouette already, this is the worksheet, the spreadsheet that comes with it. This is the Silhouette Studio. This is the designer edition. So you do, to get this edition, have to pay an additional, I think, $30. But that's not that big of a deal. So there are a lot of things to cover in making stencils. However, I'm going to start tonight with basic words and logos and pictures. So there will be a lot of information, but I'll do another one with like more detailed ones that are harder, like paint your own, and more detailed ones to cut. Okay, so I always start, because I like to use all of my, I hope this wobbling doesn't bother anybody. Sorry. I like to use the Stencil Genie with all of my stencils. Even ones that I've used on a cake when I can. This is the Silhouette Cameo, and I think this is the Cameo 2. This is the one that you can plug directly into your computer. You don't have to have a USB or, a SIM card or any of that. Not SIM, but SD card or any of that kind of stuff. So that's the Cameo that I'm using. I'll actually show it to you at the very end when I start to cut. Okay, so if you want to do words, what you'll start doing is over here on the side, if you want to type the word yourself, you will see the letter A there. I will click it, come inside my square that I created. And actually, if you want to create a square, do you see this little box here? It says draw a rectangle. All I have to do to make my own rectangle is just bring it, drag it. And because I know the Stencil Genie is 5.5 inches by 5.5 inches. Uh-oh. Edit, undo. I just make all of my squares 5.5 inches. So see there, I have 2 squares that will cut. Yes, this is great. Yeah, this is like, I hardly ever write on a cookie ever anymore. Most of my orders are for multiple dozens, and I have arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis in my hand. So this saves me like a ton of time, and time is money. Okay. So I'm doing an order for a birthday party, and the theme is Born to Sparkle. So I have my square already saved on here and all you have to do is make that perfect square one time, and then I just copy and paste it onto every one that I do. So next I go into where the A is. I click it, and I click inside my box, and then I type whatever words I want to type. And you see already on the side I have Born to, and I like that font, so I'm going to keep that. And I want the sparkle to be in a different font. So I went, and if you look over here on the side, like I already typed in sparkle, but I just kind of went through the list of fonts, and it'll take all the ones that you already have saved to your computer. So if you've downloaded any of them from DaFont or whatever those things are, then they'll come up automatically. So I think I like this one, but I kind of want sparkle to be bigger than Born to. So I'm just going to size them. Okay, so I think I have the size there that I like. what I'm doing now is I am going to group, oh, actually, before I group, every place on a stencil that has a hole will be cut out. Word mark it. It will show you in Word all of your fonts. A word in all your fonts. Ooh, I like that. Word mark it. Oh, thanks for that information. Somebody said word mark it will show you one word in all the fonts that you have on your computer. Well, the thing about this, so does the Silhouette. If you look over here, it actually has the name of the font written in that font. And so if I wanted to change this from, this is actually freestyle script, which I like, but if I wanted to change that to like French or whatever, then I could, you know, change it from there. Now, one thing you'll want to notice, oh, it'll show how all of them look at once. Ooh, somebody said, okay, so if you go to Word Market, you can type in sparkle and it'll show you how sparkle looks in every one of the fonts that you have. That's a good idea. I like that. I'm gonna have to save that. Okay, so when I'm choosing a font, I want to choose fonts that I think will work well on a stencil. For instance, this, no, French is pretty good too. But sometimes you might have a font that's very, very skinny. You see these very skinny lines here? You can make that a stencil. It does work. It just takes a lot more work than if I go with freestyle where it's already kind of chunky all along, right? Okay, so every place that you have a hole in the stencil, so the O's, the B's, any place that is totally closed off, you need to have a cut line inserted in those shapes, because if you don't, when you cut it, what it's going to look like is the outside of that shape. So what I want to do is come over to the side. There is a picture of a knife there. Click that, and then I am going to, let me zoom in so you can see it. And actually I'm going to color this too. Now this isn't important to the process. I'm just going to do it so it'll be easier for everybody to see. I'm going to fill that with my signature purple. Okay, so do you see anywhere that's totally closed off? Like if you can see a circle, the P, the A, the loop in the K, the E, any place that's totally circled off, you need to cut. So come back to the knife, click the knife, and then I am going to draw a cut line. Boom. 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 Now that is going to prevent that circle from popping out. Now what I like to do to just give it a little bit more reinforcement is I come in and I do two lines right next to each other. So it has a little bit more, because see that little bitty line up top? That's going to be a piece of plastic holding that middle part of the O in. So I want there to be a little bit more plastic holding it so it's not as quick to pop. All right, so now the Born 2 is ready. I've got to come down to the sparkle and do the same thing. Now you can cut that line anywhere, but I kind of like to cut it in places that are closest to a straight line. So for instance, the A, I'll cut there. And then I'm going to cut it again here. Yes, I could just do a diagonal straight through. I kind of like, even though I usually, after I do a stencil, when I'm stenciling a cookie, I usually go back and fill all of these lines in. So I don't like to do a line that's like some might do a line here, and that's fine, but I think it looks better when it's closer to the straight line. That's just my personal preference. But you really can do it anywhere. It's just, purpose is just to hold that piece that would fall out in place. So any piece that has a little loop, and honestly, it doesn't take very long for you to start seeing all the places that you need to do that. And then for the E, now I could just do this, but I don't like that. So I'm going to do mine that way. Okay. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up to the arrow so that I can select all of this. And I am going to group it that little box down at the bottom, which says, you can't see it, but it says group selected shapes. And that means I'm going to make it all one piece, so that now instead of being a bunch of separate little pieces, it'll all work together. And that is an example of how you type a simple word. Now that was from words that I typed in using the program. Say for instance, I want to do something that I draw online. So I'm going to go online and find some words. Like say it's a text, but it's like clip art with text in it. All right, so when I'm finding clip art that I want to use, say for instance, let's see, I don't really see anything I like here. It really kind of needs to be a clean image. For instance, I just did this, so I'll do it again. It's a boy. So say I look up It's a Boy, and I find, and yeah, that's a bunch of blue. Hold on. Happy birthday. Okay, so I am just going to look for a happy birthday that is black and white. Hello, made to order NZ. And wouldn't you know it, of all the days not to see anything that I don't see anything I can use in this. Okay, here we go. I'm going to copy that. I don't like that font, but I'm going to use it just because it's, hey, cat. So I'm going to copy that and paste it in here. Oh, that didn't work. You're right. Happy birthday, black and white. I've had my silhouette for a while and I can finally do my stuff. Oh, thanks. That's sweet. You know, I am a fan of as much, don't get me wrong, there are some people who will never be able to make their own stencils. And honestly, when I first started, I wasn't in a position to do a lot of that. So, you know, I didn't make a lot of my own. But when I got to the point where I was spending, you know, $100 a month in stencils, then if you're at that point, it's time for you to learn how to make them yourself. If you're at the point also where you're doing a bunch of custom orders, then it's time for you to learn how to make it yourself. All right, so let's see what we have here. Happy birthday. Ugh. All right. I am going to go with, let's see. Let's go with this one. I don't love it, but I'm going to do it with that one. All right. Paste. Oh, no. Okay, so I have the image in there, and this is if you want to copy an image that you see already. The Cameo is the only one that I know about. I think they both do the same thing. The difference is that the portrait has an 8x10 bed. The Cameo has a 12x12. If you're doing it mostly for doing stencils, then the Cameo is best because it will fit 4 stencil sheets on one piece of paper. Versus if you get the portrait, you're going to end up with a lot of acetate that's not being used. So yeah, it's 8x10 screen. Okay, so here we go. I have the image. What I'm going to do is come over to the green dot up top. And that is the trace window. Can you see that? You're going to click that. Then it says select trace area. Select the trace area. And then you are going to just simply drag that box on top of whatever words you have. Notice it's highlighted in yellow. Now what I just did was I did the high pass filter. I clicked it off. Sometimes what you want is a lot of yellow, the most yellow. And so sometimes when I get an image offline, if I take the high pass filter off, it will highlight more of the image so the lines will be sharper. This one is not the case. I want to have it because more yellow is outlined when it's on, so I'm going to leave it. After it's highlighted, I am going to go to the double trace option, which is the one right up top. Do you see where that pointer is? Double trace. Click that. And then I can take the image, drag it away, and I am left with the outline of those words. Let's zoom in so you can see them. And let me color those in too. Bam. And then all you have to do is the same thing I did before with the knife. Go in and you are going to cut lines everywhere there's a hole. Now see, there was an open spot there. I really didn't have to cut that line. The reason I cut it is because I want the stencil to be more sturdy. A lot of times if I'm making a stencil, it's because I have multiple dozens to do in that image. And so it works out better for me if I have more cut lines. The thickest that I use is 0.07, I think, but I also have some friends who use 0.05 and they say that works fine. I like 0.7 just because I prefer to use royal icing with stencils unless it's for a background. So if I were like stenciling happy birthday, rather than airbrushing it, I would use royal icing on top of it. And so, do you not have a knife on your silhouette option? Uh-oh. And see, if you mess up, look, I can go right back up here and undo whatever I just did. Because for this one, it's probably better to do a cut there and there. Another one there. And honestly, sometimes there is a little, see that little teeny tiny cut there? I wouldn't even worry with that. Oh, you have to do it by hand. Ugh. Oh, yeah, that kind of sucks. So, Kat, are you don't you make stencils to sell? Are you cutting all those by hand? Or is this a different person I'm thinking about? Oh my goodness, you cut all of those by hand? Girl, if you pay me, I'll send you one wherever you are. If you need a silhouette over there, if they don't sell them in your area. Okay. You give me the money, I'll send it to you. Okay. So, my goodness, your stencils are beautiful though, but I don't know how you're doing all that by hand. Oh my word. Okay. So, here we go. I'm just cutting some. This has been going on, whoever just asked that question, probably about, not too long. I'm going to post this on my YouTube channel, though, after I'm done. All right, so after I'm done here, making the cuts, and see, after a while, you start to be able to do it kind of like, now I can kind of breeze through it. It doesn't take me much time to make just words. So... And all right, so that one's done and ready to go. But that's how you do one from an image that you copy offline. Let me zoom out so you can see both of them. So that's the happy birthday taken from that image, and this one is the Born to Sparkle. Oh, here's another thing. Okay, remember when I grabbed and I selected that whole thing? This is how I can tell how big that image is. If you look on the side here, you'll see this is 2.083 inches, and this side is 3.448 inches. Well, I need it to be smaller than that because the cookie that I'm doing this on is a 3-inch cookie. So now I'm going to move that to 2.75, which will give me a little bit of room on the side. And it's a square cookie, so I know I can go up a little bit. I'm going to make it a little bit taller. And boom. There we go. Born to Sparkle. All right. Anybody else have any questions before I move on? Oh, thank you. Oh, maybe you're talking about somebody else, because I don't remember Emerald and Court Street, so you might be talking about somebody else. Yes, you can use your own typefaces to create your own images. You can type in the words here, and this is the function that I use using any font that you already have on your computer. What I did for this one, let's see, there's one that I just did. For this one, I did not have this font saved on my computer, but I actually went to dafont.com. I typed "It's a Boy" in the font that I liked, and then I took a picture of it, just doing print screen, the print screen button, and saved it as a picture and then inserted it in. And that's how I was able to get that "It's a Boy" image, which I then used to turn into that "It's a Boy" stencil. And I used that on the Burberry cookies that I did this past weekend. But this is the Happy Easter, same thing. I didn't have that font, so I went into DaFont and did it. All right, so if you have any questions, I am going to post this on my YouTube channel probably tomorrow and within the next couple of days. This is the Silhouette Cameo. It cost about $200 is the machine that you used. But if you're spending about $100, I mean, if you're only getting, $20 of stencils here or there, then it's probably not something you want to invest in. But if it's something that you already have 200 stencils and you're making them all the time and you're always ordering custom stencils, then it's definitely something that you should probably think about doing. So now that I have that made, I'm actually going to print. I'm going to take this happy birthday out because I didn't really need that one. Those are my kids screaming in the background. Okay, so now I have the Born to Sparkle here. I am going to go up to where it says Silhouette, Cut Settings, and I am going to go to the chipboard setting and send to Silhouette. And there we go. Hi, Dante. Materials, you can get them from a bunch of different places. The cheapest place is Amazon. You can get like acetate. They only sell acetate. I've only found it on Amazon by the roll. So they do have some sheets available on acetate too, of like, I think, graphics plastic or acetate rolls. My blade is on 6. Blade 6, speed 2 is what I do. And then after I cut it one time, it's probably not going to cut through the material. So I will not take it out of the machine. I'll just leave it in there after it's done printing, and then I'll select print again. And then I'll send it through one more time, and then it'll pop right out. Thickness is, hold on, let me look. I have it set on chipboard. Blade is at 6, speed 2, thickness 33. You see double cut is selected, but in addition to doing that double cut, I also do I send it through the machine twice. I hope that makes sense. So it's cut, let me see if I can take this out. I didn't show that because I already had it set up. Okay, but here's my machine. This is what it looks like not closed. But this is the mat, which you can see this is the last one that I cut out because I still had some material up top and I just didn't take it out. This is 0.007. And so, for instance, when this is done, and actually it won't take but a second for this to be done because it's words only. And actually, I forgot that I accidentally cut up top. So this stencil is going to be kind of jacked up, but I'll still be able to use it. Well, it comes 2 ways. It does come on a sheet, and if you want acetate, which is food safe, it comes on a roll. I think you can get it on sheets, but it's not, I don't think 100% food safe, which some people don't care. So, But yeah, so the roll is the roll is acetate, and that's food safe. So you can get the acetate or the sheets. Oh gosh, what's the brand? Graphics is the sheets, and I want to say Graphics is also the roll, if I'm not mistaken, but I might be mistaken. My roll is downstairs, so I don't I can't look at it to see. Yes, it's on Amazon. But okay, so this is it printing. When it gets done, and I'll show you what I do when it's done, because it's almost actually done anyways. Oh my gosh, the roll is huge. Hold on a sec, I'll get one of my kids to go get it. Cameron! Cameron! If she hears me. Cameron! Can you go downstairs and get that? There's a big roll of acetate. It looks like wrapping paper. Can you get it and bring it? Yes, can you get it and bring it, please? So my kids think the word acetate is funny. Okay, so you see it's finished now. It just popped out. You can see here, Born to Sparkle, you know, cut there. If I tried to pull it off now, this would not pop out correctly. So what I'm going to do is I always check my blade. I lift it up and I make sure there's nothing in the blade. Because do you see how, can you see that? How there's a little piece of plastic on the blade? That is going to prevent it from cutting clean the next time. Can everybody see that? All right, so what I'm going to do is take it and pop that off. Do you see? Now it's a clean blade. So then I'm going to put it back in, close it again. Yep, that's it. Lord, hold on. All right, I got my roll here, but hold on, let me show you what I finished doing. Okay, so now it's still in the machine. I'm not going to touch it. Even if I had 4 going, I wouldn't touch it. Then I come back over here, and I just send to Silhouette again. And then it's going to cut again right in that same spot. Okay? This is what the roll of acetate looks like. It is also by Graphics. 0.007. That's what it looks like, except it's huge. So the disadvantage of using this is that then you've got to cut this into 12 by 12 sheets, which, trust me, is a pain. I know it's available, like that you can do it some other way. You can order it. You can order the acetate from them directly, but you have to spend a lot more money than I want to spend at one time. Which I guess I could, because I sell them on the side too, but I don't sell that much. So, no, not really. It's more expensive on the roll too. It's cheaper to get the stuff that's not food safe. Versus the 12 by 12. No, the 12 by 12 is cheaper. Yeah, the 12 by 12 is cheaper. Cheaper and easier, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, so after this prints the second time, it's going to pop out. I'm going to select eject is going to be an option over here, or unload, and then the whole sheet will pop off, and then I'll just pop off my stencil and it'll be ready to use on some cookies or cakes, because yes, I use these on cakes too, now that I've started doing cakes. Any other questions? Any other questions? All right, I will try to come back and do another one tomorrow. If not tomorrow, sorry, I will do, oh my word, I changed my blade. It depends on how many stencils you're making, because I also sell the ones that I make for myself. I have to change my blade probably every week. But I always have a ton of blades. As you can see, I have 4 right here on my desk. So, okay, that's fine. I will, I'll stay on. It'll be done in just a second. I'll stay on and answer questions until it's done, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. So, I have to change mine every week. However, how many stencils would that be? I probably print anywhere from like 50 to 100 stencils a week, because I also sell them. So I do it a lot more. That if you're just getting it for yourself because you want to do it, then you won't have to worry about changing as much. Because I do so many of them, I do end up having to do them a lot. I mean, change them out a lot. But I would always recommend that you have an extra. Also, if you're cutting anything else other than the acetate or the graphic sheets, then you want to make sure you have another blade that's for like paper or any other thing like that. Okay, so the stencil is almost done. I think it's doing one last cut around, and then I'll show you how I remove it. I'm hoping my stand is kind of wobbly that I'm using to hold my phone up, so I'm hoping it won't be too wobbly and make anybody sick. And see, I'm always trying to make it easier way. This is an example of one of the stencils. Do you see how all of it didn't pop out? And that happens sometimes. But what you have to do is go in. This is another trick. You always want to keep a blade around. And I'll just go in with the blade if it doesn't cut all the way. And just cut it with the blade. Now, I don't want to kill myself, so I'm going to not do that live. Alright, so I'm going to now... Oh, let me bring it over here. Sorry, I'm ADHD. It's a blessing and a curse. So just, okay, so now I'm done. I'm going to hit unload. It slides out. And then I'll show you how hopefully, I'll show you without, let me see, put this in the stand and see if we can make this work. All right, so then I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to take it and I'm going to pull it up. And then there it is. I hope you can see it, but I'm going to put it on top of that so maybe you can see it a little bit better. You see? Born to Sparkle. And that is what it will look like on top of my cookie. Let's see. And this is smaller. This is, I think, a 2.5 inch square, but you'll get the picture. And a lot of times what I'll do when I'm making these is I'll bring the actual cookie cutter that I'm going to use to make the cookies and just measure it out to make sure it fits before because if I have a large order, like if I'm doing an order of 100, yes, it works with royal icing perfectly. I was just saying earlier that that's actually the way I prefer to do my stenciling, unless it's a background. So if this were just a background with like stars or something, then I would use this for airbrushing because that's just a chevron pattern. But when I'm doing something like this, I would do the chevron in with airbrush, and then on top of the chevron, then I would put Born to Sparkle and use royal icing. And that's why I like the 0.007, because look how thick it is. It actually holds up really well to the royal icing without breaking. Also, making those double cut lines makes that little, see how that O is in there and it's held by that piece of material there? That makes it easier to use with royal icing too, because it's not as easy to break. All right, any other questions? If not, I believe we are done for tonight. I'll be on again one night and do some more difficult things, and I will put them up on my YouTube channel. And on YouTube, I am Crumbles by Nicole. So for those of you who want to make sure you don't miss the Periscopes, you can, look at me on YouTube too. All right, thanks everybody. Good night.